Are there Democrats in Fresno? I guess there's no Democrats in Fresno. I'm sure if there were Democrats in Fresno, I could hear it. That's a little bit better. How many of you think that 2014 is going to be just like 2012?
I hope not.
Well, see that? There may not be quite 1,000 Democrats here today, but there's a bunch of smart ones. We don't have the president at the top of our ticket next year. That means the enthusiasm and the excitement has to come from us. Because our wonderful governor isn't exactly the most exciting figure. Now let's be clear, there are some people who love to hear him speak Latin. There are some people who love his dog. There's a lot of people who love his wife. But Barack Obama, he's not. And Hillary Clinton, he's not. But we got a lot of work to do. Yes. Because in 2012, we did everything that was possible in California. We nearly ran the table in the Congress, in the Assembly, in the Senate. But 2014 is a tougher year for us. Because Democrats don't vote so much in the off-year elections. And Democrats are in the 6th year of President Obama's presidency, and Lord knows the Republicans have done everything they could to stymie everything that he could do. But here's the good news. In California, Democratic registration continues to climb. Republican registration is now below 29%. The Affordable Care Act is being implemented in California, not with the problems that you're hearing about on TV, but hundreds of thousands of people already have completed their applications for health care. And January 1st, California is going to be a different place for health care. 1.4 million poor and low-income Californians will have health care that they can afford. And for working folks who don't earn too much money, they'll have the advantage and the opportunity that those stipends that come from the government will help them to buy a decent policy. So that's a big step in the right direction. And our budget, which just 3 years ago was $60 billion in the red in California, we have a surplus. That's Democratic leadership. That's what supermajority does. But you know, the Republicans got tired of losing. Instead of electing a chair whose entire agenda was about bashing immigrants and bashing gay people and focusing on abortion, they brought in a guy named Jim Brulte. Those of you who don't know Jim Brulte, I want you to learn about him a lot today. Jim Brulte is the smartest Republican in California. He was the Republican leader in the Assembly. He was the Republican leader in the Senate. And he's no ideologue in how he runs that party. He's about figuring out what seats they can take away from us and keeping people focused on what's important and on what's successful. That means we have to be even smarter. We can't rest on our laurels. Now, the number one reason that Democrats win is because Democrats represent the values, share the belief system of Californians. When we go out to campaign, when we look a voter in the eye, when we talk from our heart, voters understand what we're talking about. They believe in the things that we stand for. Well, Jim Brulte's not going to go out beating that old right-wing dead horse. However, they're starting already. They're trying to qualify a referendum to overturn a law that protects transgender children in school. Right now, they're trying to qualify 5 recalls. 3 assembly members and 2 senators who are Democrats who voted for sensible gun control legislation. And you know what? 45 legislators voted for those gun control bills. They picked 5. You know what all 5 have in common besides being Democrats? Every one of them is Latino. Well, the people of California are not going to stand for that. The people of California are going to buy the right message. They're going to look at what an effective government led by Democrats has done. The budget deficit is gone. We're restoring services. We're increasing funding for schools. We're increasing funding for social services. We're making life better. And you know what? We did all the easy stuff in 2012. We got to hold the easy stuff, and we got to come back to the Central Valley. We got to pick up a congressional seat here in Fresno. We got to take back a state Senate seat they stole from us last summer. We've got to be focused. We've got to not let the conventional wisdom fool us. We don't have Barack Obama to excite our voters. We got to do it. We've got to be at the cutting edge of every possible means of talking to voters. That means young voters using social media. That means registering tens of thousands of people under the age of 30 with our new online voter registration and making sure that every one of them is signed up to vote by mail. Because if you think about it, if you live at one end of the valley and you work at the other end of the valley, that's a long drive after a long day of work. And you're not looking to stand in a line for an hour to vote, are you, when you get home? You're tired. And it's like, my neighbor's voting. Doesn't really matter. It does matter. Every vote matters. And the way we assure that is by signing every voter up that we can to vote by mail. And you know, we have to think about what it is we believe in. What it is that makes Democrats so different. What is it that makes us the winning party in this state? It starts with we believe in people. It starts with a platform that says we will put people first. We will create good jobs that pay a good wage and have benefits and allow for retirement. It's a platform that talks about reforming our criminal justice system. Not just trying to put everybody to the death penalty in 3 strikes, but to use reasonable and rational approaches to manage it. It talks about health care for all. It talks about social services for all. It talks about fairness for everyone here in this country, no matter how they got here. It talks about taking care of kids who were brought here at age 2 by their parents and went to school all the way through the system, and gives them the opportunity to have success at the golden dream. And you guys are the ticket to doing it here. But this can't just be our chatter. This has got to be a commitment. For everybody that's here, you should bring 3 people to the next time Evans calls you out. When that campaign office is up and running, and we're fighting for a Senate seat, and we're fighting for a congressional seat, we're fighting to hold on to a congressional seat, and fighting to pick up city council seats, we can do it. Yes. But we have to be there. And we have to close our ears to the ever-going chatter that says, oh, it's the off year, it's the 6th year of the presidency. We've lost it all. We've got to be the ones who remind everybody that this Democratic Party is resurgent, that young people are with us, that the world is changing and our values are their values, and that if we don't stand up, the world changes all right, but it changes in a way that none of us want to see and none of us can believe. That's our job. When you're an activist, it's our job. I don't want to say one other thing. A lot of times the day after election day, people get sad. It's all over. There's nothing to do. You've been fighting hard, and you won, hopefully. It's done. Well, it isn't done. Getting them elected is only the first job. Holding them accountable to what we believe in is the second job. Standing with them and saying, you know what, if you take the tough votes, we'll be there to protect you. And if you take shitty votes, we'll be there to remind you. Yeah. We either stand for what we believe in or what we don't. And, you know, I don't like when people tell me, oh, the Democrats in Fresno and Clovis are not like the Democrats in LA and Ventura. Democrats are Democrats. We believe in people. We believe in doing things in a way that lifts everybody's boat. We believe that everybody should have a chance and everybody should have an opportunity. That's why you're giving up your Saturday. That's why it's worth it for me to drive 4 hours to come here and be with you today. Because you've got to know that your party believes in you, believes in your community, believes in your offices, in your districts, and your people. And we do. And it's important to us. And, you know, it's been fun to watch the Fresno Democratic Party grow these last few years. Michael's leadership has been extraordinary. His leadership team is incredible. I knew something special was going on the very first time I came up here, invited to speak at the Fresno Women's Club. God, I don't know how many years ago that was. It was so good I did a replay and came back and jumped into somebody else's program this year. But I think our future in California for growing our party's here. Our future is here. How exciting that the first Hmong Democratic Club opened up. I mean, isn't that incredible? And that's what we have to do, is create a space for all of our folks. And you know, that leads me to talk about the difference between us and them for just a minute. When you're them, it's easy. Everybody's the same. Everybody looks the same. Everybody sounds the same. Everybody talks the same. Everybody has the same exact points. If I'm the Republican and I'm running for Congress, if I'm the Republican and I'm running for president, if I'm the Republican and I'm running for dog catcher, what do I say to you? If you vote for me, I'll get the government off your back. I'll cut your taxes. I'll let you keep your gun. I'll put God back in the schools. I'll protect your marriage. And I'll get Osama bin Laden. Oh, wait a minute. It took Democrats to do that. I forgot. But when you're a Democrat and you're talking about the economics of rising boats, of increasing the minimum wage, of providing health care, it's not so easy. When you're the Democratic Party and not everybody looks like me, I'm the minority, not the majority, I have to understand, we have to understand the needs of immigrant people. We have to understand the needs of gays and lesbians. We have to understand the needs of people of color. We have to understand the needs of young people and old people, because our tent is full. That means each and every one of us has to be a part of it and not be afraid to be a part of it. It makes our job that much harder, but it makes our lives that much richer. The difference of being part of something like the Democratic Party can't be beaten, can't be matched by the other side, and it never will be. So I want a commitment from each and every one of you today that as we move to next year's elections, every one of us is going to be there and make the same fight we did last November, and better, and harder, so that we hold every constitutional officer, so that we re-elect Governor Brown and Kamala, so that we elect Democrats to all those offices, so that we keep supermajorities in the Assembly and the Senate, so we can pass a good budget and raise the revenue that we need, and so that we give Nancy Pelosi enough additional seats in Congress that she gets that gavel back, and we can send crying baby John Boehner back where he came from, once and for all. And you guys can do it. You guys can make it happen. You're the ones who can do it. Stand up and give yourself applause. Give yourself some excitement, because you're going to do it. You're going to bring the Democratic Party to power. Thank you very much.